We're both painters originally, and we were chatting away one day and we decided that it would be interesting to see what would happen if we combined our painterly preoccupations and applied them to printed textiles. The last 2 or 3 years have been a very steep learning curve for us because we've not just been screen printing more thoroughly, more seriously than we have before, but it's also screen printing fabric in repeat pattern, which brings with it all kinds of complications that we hadn't anticipated and weren't aware of. And I really like travelling into Charing Cross on the train. Once you've got past London Bridge, you're on a sort of a raised level, so you're coming in sort of halfway up the buildings. You can look down, you can look up, you can look straight ahead, and you've got all these planes and angles and lines all intersecting at different distances, and it's visually very exciting, and everywhere you look you see these shapes. From when we first met, instead of going to the cinema or the pub, we would walk around the city and often have coffee in Waterloo Station and just pick up on the vibe of being in a big city and of travelling without actually going anywhere, and the visual excitement of the city. So the lines and the shapes and the mix of old and new and the different levels that you can view everything from, and that mixture is very exciting visually, and we just sort of absorb it. We can go out and wander around and new buildings have popped up where we weren't there a month ago or 3 months ago, so it's constantly changing and there's layer upon layer upon layer of time. I don't know, the city's never as sort of clean and sharp-edged as one might think. It's sort of dirty and messy and broken, and some bits are shiny and clean.
There's that thing with the layers as well. If building's been there for a long time and then it's been painted 10 times in the last 30 years, and as you can see, the new lines will have formed where other things have been removed and new pieces of bricks and brickwork have been put in. Nothing's uniform. All the designs are hand-drawn to start with, and then we have to scan them into a computer, but we use the computer very much like a photocopier. So we're not using the computer for any vector lines or anything like that. We put things into repeat on the computer.
Because everything ends up kind of looking very similar when it's done on a computer. You can see it, it's got the same something about it, the same kind of curve, the same perfection. The hand-drawn, it gives it an individuality. We call it wonky geometry. And in our first range of designs, the thickness of the line corresponded to the width of the yarn that the fabric we printed on was woven with. And it gives the effect of looking like a woven pattern or an embroidered pattern. It looks like a stitch as well as looking like a print. So we're sort of playing on the nature of the fabric that we're using, and in our designs that are sort of in the pipeline at the moment, we're trying to give a sort of stylised effect of air text in the printed design, using again that short line. The quality of the fabric is important and the feel of it. And yeah, we are very fussy, I suppose, about the stuff we print on. Like a lot of people, we try and source everything from this country, and our linen took a long time to find. It's woven in Burney, so that pleases us. When it works and you make a pattern repeat in a satisfying way, that's great. And actually printing a length of fabric, and when you actually achieve a length of fabric, that's fantastic as well. As painters, you don't really have limitations. You can paint whatever you like, and often painters invent limitations for themselves, and in this case, we've been given lots of limitations, and that's quite good, something to sort of kick against or something, or just something to bounce against, which is nice. And that's been very interesting and fun and challenging.